Should people get more involved in activities to take care of the towns or cities they live in? Absolutely. If people were involved in campaigns like cleanup or tree planting, they would have more pride in the places where they live than they do now, and that way the places can stay clean. Do you think that people today respect those in authority, such as police officers and teachers? Yes, as far as I know, most people obey and respect the laws and rules of society. They understand that the laws were put in place to create order and harmony. Do you think that street patrols by volunteers are a good way to prevent crime? I think they are. If people see such patrols walking around their neighborhood, they will be less likely to commit crime for fear of being seen. Why do you think that many young people today seem to have little interest in politics? Many young people believe that politics is only for the older generation. They think that even if they got involved in politics, nobody would listen to their ideas. Do you think that more people will choose to work beyond retirement age in the future? Absolutely. The amount of money people receive from the national pension system will decrease in the future. So they will have to continue working to lead a comfortable lifestyle. Should local governments provide more services for the community? Yes, in my area, there's not enough bus service. It's very difficult for senior citizens to get to the store unless they have a car, so the local government should invest in public transportation. Do you think that printed newspapers will disappear in the future? Yes, it's already possible to get news free on the internet, and people can easily access this anywhere using a smartphone. So there's actually no reason to buy a newspaper. Should more be done to promote Japan to foreign tourists? No, Japan already has a lot of campaigns to attract foreigners. Japan is already very popular tourist destinations in the world. There may not be many tourists coming these days because of the pandemic, but I'm sure that they will come back when things get easier. Do you think that more people will want to work for the government rather than for private companies in the future? No, I think working for the government is becoming more stressful. The media watches government agencies closely nowadays, and any mistakes are heavily criticized. Do you think that more should be done to teach children the value of reading books? Yes, absolutely. Books are a great source of information. They can develop children's imagination. Children can increase their knowledge of the world by reading, and which will help them in many school subjects and their future as well. Do you think that employees are less loyal to their companies these days? No. Recently, most people know someone who has lost their job due to cutbacks, and They hope this never happens to them, so they might work hard to ensure their company's success. Can the healthcare system cope with the growing number of elderly people? No, I'm afraid not. Doctors and nurses are already overworked, so patients often wait a long time for treatment, and this problem will get worse as the number of elderly patients rises. Should people do more to protect the environment? Yes, even though many people do realize the environmental impact that using too much electricity or wasting water can have, they still haven't changed their lifestyles. Are people becoming more concerned about the food they buy? Yes, people nowadays are more health conscious and pay closer attention to the quality of the food they buy. This means food companies have to list exactly what their products contain. Do you think that people are aware of the dangers of using credit cards? Yes, most people realize that credit card fraud is becoming a problem these days, and they're more careful when using credit cards online. Do you think that the behavior of adults in public sets a good example for children? I think most adults are polite to others and they have good manners and try their best to be considerate to people around them. This has a positive influence on the way children act. Which do you think is more important to succeed in professional sports, hard work or natural ability? I think it's impossible to become a professional athlete without having natural ability, but at the same time, what sets the best players apart is the hard work and hours of training they put in. Should the government take action to reduce the number of cars on the roads? Yes, there are already many traffic jams, especially on weekends and national holidays in big cities. Unless the government try to discourage people from buying cars by raising car tax, for example, the problem will get worse, for sure. Do you think that people are more wasteful with their money these days? Yes, people had less money in the past, so they were careful how they spent it. But many young people today have different ways of making payments. For example, they can make payments by using phones. So they don't realize they are actually paying more than they want. Should employees be promoted based on their work performance or on the length of time they have worked for their company? I think the emphasis should be on performance. If employees are promoted simply because they've been at their company for years, they will become lazy as there is no incentive to improve their skills.